Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're cooking up Sunday dinner, which is Jamaican style rice and peas and whole roast jerk chicken. Stay tuned for the recipe. So the first thing we're going to do is get our chicken cleaned. If you have time and can marinate this overnight, then you will get a much better flavor. If not, just marinate it and leave it for at least 2 hours in the fridge. So we're just going to clean up our chicken, removing all the bits that we don't want, and then we're going to spatchcock the chicken. I am going to leave the backbone in because I do like the backbone, but if you don't like the backbone, just remove it. Now this is how I clean a whole chicken. So what I'm doing here is unfolding the wings, and I'm going to check the wings if there's any remaining feathers. Then I'm just going to use my hand to remove them. What I can't remove, I'm going to use my lighter and burn them off. I normally do this on the stove, but I've got a few more things cooking, so just quickly grab my lighter. There weren't much on there, so that was absolutely fine. As I said previously, I'm just going to go straight down the backbone with my knife. I'm not going to remove the bone in the back, but if you wanted to remove the backbone, just kind of cut it on both sides of that inner bone, that spinal bone. Once I've done this, I'm just going to put a slight cut in the back. Then I'm going to turn it over and just use my hands to press down so that the breastbone is broken. After I've done this, I'm going to go ahead and just remove all the gunk from the chicken that we don't want to eat. Once I've got my chicken cleaned, I'm going to wash it with some lime and vinegar water. Then it's time to season. Just give your chicken a good check because sometimes there's feathers just lying around that we don't want to eat. So I'm going to season my chicken with some chicken seasoning. I've got some dry jerk rub and also some wet jerk rub. I want to give this a good mix and just leave it to marinate. Once you're ready to cook your chicken, you want to go ahead and preheat your oven. I cook this on gas mark 6 for about an hour covered, and then I remove the cover and just let this up, crank the heat up to 7, gas mark number 7, and then just let this cook uncovered for about another half an hour. Depending on the size of your chicken, cooking times will vary. So let's work on the rice and peas. Now what I'm going to do here is just get my peas on to start boiling. I do like to go in with some crushed garlic at the beginning of the cooking process. Now these peas, they took about just under 2 hours to cook. So sometimes I do use the pressure cooker. It depends if I'm in a rush, and then sometimes I just like when my peas are slow cooked. So whilst the peas is on, I'm going to go ahead and add my chicken to the oven. You want to make sure you remove your chicken from the fridge at least half an hour before cooking. Now before placing in the oven, I did go in with some butter under the skin and just use my hands or a spoon, you can, to just press that button so it just distributes all over the chicken meat. After you've done this, just cover your chicken and get it in the oven. As I said previously, I cooked it for 1 hour covered, and then for about another half an hour also uncovered. Now once my peas is cooked, you know when your peas is cooked when you can just press it against a spoon and it is soft. Now let's season this pot. So I'm going in with some coconut milk, give that a good mix. I'm gonna add, got here Scotch bonnet pepper, I have some coconut cream, scallion, thyme, ginger and garlic. I'm also going to add some crushed pimento seeds and also about a tablespoon of all-purpose. You can just go ahead and use salt if you haven't got this all-purpose. Once I've added my seasoning to my peas, I'm going to go ahead and cover this and just let this come to a boil for about 10 minutes before adding my rice. Now after I've added my washed rice, I'm going to go ahead now and give this a good mix so that peas is distributed all throughout, or as the peas will just settle on top. What I'm doing here, I had too much water in there, so I'm just going to remove some. Give this another stir, then I'm going to cover this and just leave it until the water just goes below the level of the rice. Then I'm going to cover this with some cling film and some foil paper, turn my heat down to the lowest setting that it can go, and just let this simmer away for about 20 to 25 minutes. What this process does, it just straps the steam in the pot and just allow that rice to just steam and just get nice and fluffy. Whilst the rice is doing its thing, let's go and check on this chicken. So it's time now to remove the covering, and what I'm doing here is just basting the chicken with all those juices. I'm going to put it back in the oven for about 15 minutes, removing it and basting it at least 2 to 3 times. After I've done this and removed it back from the oven, I did make a sauce with some barbecue sauce, some ketchup, some paprika and a little bit of honey, and I'm going to go ahead now and spread this all over my chicken. Once I've done this, I'm going to just put it back in the oven for about another 10-15 minutes, cranking up the heat just a little bit. After this time, my rice should be ready. Now please, when you're removing the foil and the cling film, just be careful, because remember, under there is real hot steam which will seriously burn your hand. So just allow it, just open it slightly, allow that steam to come out before removing it completely. Believe me, I've burnt my hands many times. What I'm doing here is just removing all the thyme stalks and the scallion and the bits that you can see that you don't really want to eat. They've served their purpose, they've flavored the pot, so we can go ahead and remove them. And I don't know if you noticed, but in this pot right now, the pepper is nowhere to be found. I literally found it when I got near to the bottom of the pot. Luckily it did burst. So once you remove all of that, just go ahead and fluff up your rice, put it to one side, because your rice is done and your chicken is done. So now it's just time to cut up that chicken, plate up your dinner. I serve this up with some avocado and some homemade coleslaw. There is a video for the coleslaw on my channel. Go ahead and check it out. And there you have it, guys. My Jamaican style Sunday dinner is ready. Roast chicken with rice and peas, coleslaw and avocado. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, leave me a comment and let me know what you think about this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye guys.